The Chicago Bears go out and sign a former third-round pick, and we got to hear from QB1, DB1, LB1, and RT1. Doesn't really work like that. All that and more in today's episode of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily. Let's go. Now, if you are new to the channel, please hit that like button. Please subscribe to the page. You do talk Chicago sports daily on this channel. It's the only channel talk Chicago sports, how Chicago talks. So make sure that you get in tune with us, man. And on today's episode, listen, let's start it off here. Chicago Bears go out and sign Nahshon Wright to a 1-year deal. Now, this is per just about everybody. Adam Hogue, Courtney Cronin was on this as well. Former third-round pick from the Dallas Cowboys in 2021. Somebody who, and this is the only reason I think this is interesting, because he was released recently by the Minnesota Vikings before ending up coming here and signing with the Chicago Bears. If he was drafted by the Dallas Cowboys in 2021, my thing is this the Jalen Jones now of the Al Harris regime? That's the only reason that I'm giving this any kind of shine. There's not much to look at Nahshon Wright and feel like he did a ton of. Spent 3 years with Dallas, 1 year last year with the Minnesota Vikings. In that time, he's played in a multitude of games, 33 games over that time span. Played probably mostly in 2022 in 7 games. He got 23 tackles, started 2 games that season, actually 23 combined tackles, 17 solo tackles, 6 assisted tackles, 1 tackle for loss. Has not yet recorded did record 1 interception in that season. That is his only career interception. But if you're bringing in a former Dallas Cowboy, somebody who spent 3 years with Al Harris, when he becomes available, the fact that Al Harris is like, hey, no, this guy's on the market, let's go get him. He's somebody that you're going to want to add to this DB room. I think that is something worth talking about. I think that's something worth taking a look at, because clearly Al Harris thinks that it is something worth taking a look at. I'll be intrigued to see what he's able to do here in the Chicago Bears coming up in the offseason program, of course, but also in training camp. We've seen a lot of really good DB names pop up here in Chicago. Wonder if even, the DB scout, who clearly is finding DBs left and right, had a little bit of input on this. But Nahshon Wright now going to be a Chicago Bear. Again, this is a 1-year deal, nothing crazy here. No word on money attached. I would assume this is probably a vet minimum deal at this point. And I think this is going to be something interesting to see how this is going to play out. Let me know how you guys feel about the signing of Nahshon Wright. Do you think that he could be the Jalen Jones of this offense, or should the Chicago Bears have just kept Jalen Jones? Let me know down in the comments below. Now, we got to hear from a ton of different people today. Of course, QB1 spoke. Tremaine Edmonds, Caleb Williams, if you're wondering who QB1 is, for some of you out here who are screaming for TB12 or TB, I don't even know what Tyson Bagent's number is. Was it TB13? I think it's 13. But that's tough. No, it can't be 13. What is Tyson Bagent's number? Now I got to figure this out. Hold on. Give me a second. Tyson Bagent is 11? 17. There it is. TB 17. Whatever. It doesn't matter. He's the backup quarterback. Maybe Case Keenum's in the building now. But the Chicago Bears are in win now mode. And I thought that was the big thing to take away from both Jalen Johnson and from Tremaine Edmonds today. I thought some very interesting comments, especially coming from Tremaine. He said the message that he left with, the message that was his takeaway, not only from Dennis Allen, but also the message that Ben Johnson is putting out there, is that we are going out there to win now. And we don't just want to win, we want to win by a lot. That means the Bears are not taking their time here. I do wonder what this could mean draft implication wise. Remember, we did the video this morning. If you didn't see the full daily show, tap in with the Morning Breeze this morning, where we started off talking about how, to me, seems like they're talking about Mason Graham after that 1920 video yesterday, where the conversation is how high is he on our board? He could be top 1 or 2. But like, that would be a win now type of move, right? And hearing this from Tremaine Edmonds, it just feels like I took one of two things away from this. Number one, I think what I really took away from it was the fact that if the Bears are in win now mode, that means you're in win now mode with the roster that you currently have on the field, that you feel that the roster that you currently have right now is good enough to go out there and get the job done. I love that. I love that, right? Because you're preaching this to the team that's currently there, and I get it. Everybody comes in and says they're going to win, and there's going to be. But this was not. And again, go back and watch the press conferences. This was not. Hey, we're going to take the steps so that we can hit the ground running, and we're going to be ready by training camp, and everything's going to be kumbaya, and there's going to be all of this by the time we get to training camp. No, this was today. Hey, boys, we're going in here and we're trying to take the faces of other teams in this next upcoming NFL season. We're trying to, if you're Dan Campbell, bite kneecaps in this upcoming season. We're not waiting around for us to get it right. We're going to get it right from the start. And I love the fact that we're hearing that that's the message that Ben Johnson is preaching, because again, like I said, it doesn't feel like this is a message of, hey, when we go out there and we add Abdul Carter, oh, we're hitting the ground running. Hey, when we go out there and we get Mason Graham in the building, oh, we're hitting the ground running. No, this is, to me, the conversation on this is the locker room that we have right now is good enough to go out there and dominate. And guess what? That's the plan for this season. It doesn't feel like just everyday coach talk where it's like, hey, all right, we're going to get the job done. We're going to figure this out. We're going to come together. We're going to give each other a hug. I'm going to tell you the score at halftime. And we got each other, baby. Watch that, Crusher. Yeah, I mean, like, it doesn't feel like that kind of conversation to me. And how everybody came up to the podium today talking about Ben Johnson, I thought that was the vibe and the real takeaway from today when people were talking about the message that was being preached to the team. I love the fact that this team is in win now mode. And I think that that is one of the big things now heading into next season, or heading into this upcoming season, I should say, that starting right now, starting today, is going to be big. And listen, I'll tell you, when we talk about the Caleb Williams loving Ben Johnson, by the way, that BJ is Ben Johnson. Get your minds out of the gutters, you filthy animals. But when we talk about Caleb Williams loving Ben Johnson, that goes all into it. But let me know how you guys feel. Like I said in the comments below, man, do you like the fact that Ben Johnson is preaching this message now, or do you feel like it's too early? Do you feel like the Chicago Bears are in win now mode, or should be in win now mode with the team that they currently have? Should they be expecting to go out there and get the job done right now? Like I said, let me know down in the comments below. One other thing that I thought was very interesting was the Jalen Johnson conversation that he had at the podium today. And before I get into that, I do want to let you guys know to pull up on us for the Windy City Breeze draft party. That is going to be Thursday, April 24th, 6 p.m. until the final pick is in, and maybe a little after. We're going to have a bartender. There will be food there. It's going to be at the Ultimate Gaming Experience in Orland Park. 15633 South 94 Avenue in Orland Park. Make sure to pull up on us. Tickets are on sale now. Check the link in the description below. $10 gets you in the door. $20 gets you in the door with a drink in your hand the second you walk in. And there is a VIP section available as well. So make sure to tap in with us on that as well. Cannot wait to see you guys up there. Let's get back into the show here, though, because just like I need you guys locked in for the draft party for the Windy City Breeze, Jalen Johnson was locked in today. And I'll tell you what, and excuse me, this may be a big take for me, right? But Jalen Johnson talked about today, and I think it was Courtney that asked him, or maybe it was Pat. Why are you up here? What made you want to come up here in the beginning of this? And Jalen said, listen, as a leader coming in, basically that I want to introduce myself to the team. I want to introduce myself to my guys. I want to make a good first impression. I'm smart enough to know the playbook. So it's not that I have to be here, but there's new guys here. I need to be present. And that, to me, and maybe it's just me, that's meaningful to me. Because I left last season, and y'all remember this, I left last season saying, I don't know how Jalen Johnson is as a leader. I don't know if he really is a leader. I don't know if where Jalen Johnson is at right now, if I can say that he's the leader that the Chicago Bears need on this team because of some of the things that we saw at the end of the season last year. There's a couple of tackles where it's just like it seems like he wasn't going 100% on that. If you're not going 100%, nobody's going 100%. And I get it. End of the season, games out of reach. You know the coaching staff is getting fired. All of this stuff plays in. You've packed it in. You're heading to the sandy beaches of wherever you end up at. Right? You're cooking in the offseason. I saw the cooking video. Shirt off. That was wild work. Jalen Johnson just thirst trapping the entire internet right there. But being a leader on this team starts in moments like this. It starts in places like this. It starts when you come in the door before anyone else is there and you say, hey, my name's Jalen. This is what we're doing. Glad to have you here. And I'm talking about to the Grady Jarrett's, the Dale Dangbos, all the new pieces that are here. Of course, the new coaching staff, you want to meet with them. And it is just really building that rapport and understanding, all right, Ben, this is the message that you're preaching. Bet I got the message. Now I'm going to relay the message to them. Being there and doing that day one, I thought was huge. And even his conversation on accountability, it just sounds so locked in. He's not buying in. I love the fact, too, they asked him, right? They asked him, how do you feel about the coaching staff? Are you feeling like this is going to be the coaching staff that's going to get it done? Do you feel like this is going to be what's best for the team moving forward? Where are your thoughts at? And he's like, I'll start to feel good about the coaching staff when we're getting wins. I'll start to feel good about the coaching staff when we're in the playoffs. I'll start to feel like we're making things work when the production is actually coming with it. I've been through this too many times, and he has. Jalen Johnson has been on this team now through 3 different regimes. He's gotten an extension in the second regime. He's now playing out most of that extension in the third regime. And I think, again, that is why it's very important that he shows up here. When you talk about that accountability, Jalen Johnson is not a Dennis Allen guy, and how they're going to utilize him could be very, very big for his career one way or another. I think this is, excuse me, I think this is going to be a massive season for Jalen Johnson coming into this season, because to me, when you have the Jalen Johnson conversation, him not being one of those guys and going out there to cover the number one guy the entire game in man-to-man coverage more times than not, he feels like, and he said it today, that's my game. That fits the kind of player that I want to be. That fits the kind of play that I want to have when I'm here in a Chicago Bears jersey. I love that. But he hasn't had to cover the best wide receiver for entire moments of games, which means there are times where maybe you can take a play or two off. You can get a little rest. It's not Justin Jefferson on the other side of you every single play. When it is, you don't get that opportunity. If you start to see Jalen Johnson get cooked deep, like we saw at moments last season, not much, but in moments last season, if you start to see Jalen Johnson get beat over the top, if you start to see he makes the wrong decision on a gamble and gets cooked, right? Like, those are the things that you're going to look at with Jalen Johnson and go, is he a number one guy? And guess what? Those are the things that Dennis Allen is going to look at with Jalen Johnson and go, is he a number one guy? Those things are important. To get those things right, to get those things done, that is important. And this is not a Dennis Allen guy. That could mean that Jalen Johnson ends up being on the move if things don't go the right way. Now, that's not what I anticipate. It's not what I expect. I think Jalen Johnson's the best cover corner in the NFL, bar none. I truly do. I believe that he is nothing but a talent on this team. And to me, if you're going to go out there and prove that this season, now we're talking about having a completely different conversation around Jalen Johnson's name by the end of the season. But it all starts with the accountability word. That was the word that he used a ton last season. That's the word that he was asked about today. And I think that Dennis Allen is going to have a ton of that for him. He talked about, with the accountability coming into this team, if you see it, call it out. And not just call it out, but tell me what I'm doing wrong. Show me what I'm doing wrong. Show me how this needs to be done. And I think that was not only a message to Dennis Allen and the coaching staff here, to Al Harris and the coaching staff here, but also a message to his teammates. Listen, there's a lot of y'all who were in here last season who want to call stuff out, and you're not good enough to do that. You don't have the cachet to do that. You're not putting in the work to do that. You want to say, I'm not covering right? Okay, show me how to do the job then. I think that was a twofold message a little bit, where I'm telling the coaching staff, listen, I'm here to be coached. I'm very malleable. I want to be used in whatever way you want to use me. But if you call me out, I need you to show me what I'm doing wrong. And also to everybody who was sitting in this building, because there's still a lot of players returning from last season. There's some people who may be returning from last season who were the ones screaming accountability and weren't doing everything they needed to do to be accountable. So, hey, if y'all want to tell me how to do this, if you want to tell me how to run this play, make sure that you on your P's and Q's as well. And that kind of push from both sides, I think that's going to be big for the Bears this season. And hopefully that will push not only Jalen Johnson to finally get that all-pro season that he deserves, by the way, but also to push Jalen Johnson further as a leader. I love how we're starting off this season as a leader. I didn't like some of the things from last season when it comes to leadership, but clean slate. I'm giving everybody a clean slate. I'm giving Rand Poles clean slate, draft-wise. Ben Johnson is the clean slate. I'm giving Jalen Johnson a clean slate coming into this season. Let me know how you guys feel about Jalen Johnson's comments today in the comments below. I'll be down there talking with you guys as well. Want to finish this out and hit that like button if you have not done so. Subscribe to the page if you have not done so. Leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. I want to finish this out talking about Caleb Williams, loving BJ. Listen, Ben Johnson comes in and you don't know what he's going to be. Right? You know that he's a great offensive mind. You feel like he's a really good leader because of the things on the offensive side, but there's it's a lot different being a head coach. And we talked about the message that Ben Johnson is preaching already. But Caleb Williams specifically talked about meeting Ben Johnson for the first time. And he said, listen, I'm pretty good with getting the vibe off of people and kind of knowing if I'm going to get along with somebody or not. And I'm going to tell you this right now. Meeting Ben Johnson was a very similar feeling to when I met Lincoln Riley. And you know how much Caleb Williams loves Lincoln Riley. Of course, how he pushed him, how he set him up offensively and different things like that as a quarterback. But he loved Lincoln Riley enough to follow him to another school. He loved Lincoln Riley enough to leave one college and follow him to another college. I think that is going to be big for this relationship here. If that's the kind of relationship that is brewing, and even the words that Caleb Williams said today, I heard him say this in the presser that when he's talking about Ben Johnson, he's talking about, I can't wait until I'm to the point where I'm where Jarrett was 4 years down the road and I'm kind of calling the offense while Ben is still calling the plays. I kind of know where Ben wants to go, and we have that rapport and we're moving in the right direction because of that. And I'm setting the offense up and he's doing all of these things where it's like he's thinking long-term with Ben Johnson after only being with him for a few days. Now, he's met him a couple of times, right? He's met him, of course, at the introductory press conference, had the text message back and forth, now being able to be in the building with them, being in the morning meetings with them and different things like that. I think that is the kind of thing where if you're getting that vibe now and you want that vibe to grow, and it sounds like how Caleb Williams is talking now, he wants that to grow, then you're more willing to be coached by somebody. You're more willing to go and trust somebody like that, right? If because now you're saying, I want to do whatever it is to get us to the point where year 4, year 5, we're cooking. We're on a different plane. We are the Detroit Lions offense, except maybe a little bit better, right? Like I love the fact that he's getting that vibe early on because and talking about this in the long term, because now the goal is to get to that long term, to get to year 4, get to year 5. And both for Ben Johnson and for Caleb Williams, it's going to be massive for both of these guys that they have that level of trust with each other. And I think that is going to be what we see from the Chicago Bears early on in this process. And I love the fact that, listen, Caleb Williams talked about Ben Johnson coming into the room, basically making a grand entrance on day 2. So today when they were talking and came in and immediately started quizzing him, and not like writing stuff on the wall, but quizzing him on, hey, what did you do yesterday? What did we talk about yesterday? What was the points that I wanted to make here? Do you remember this? How is this going to, like, basically already challenging Caleb Williams to say, okay, is your brain, is your mind in the right place? Are you focused on what we're doing? Because listen, when a coach comes in and talks, right, if you're not that interested, you can take it and go, I'm glad we're getting the first day talk. Let's see what's going to happen, blah, blah, blah. And you kind of in one ear and out the other, right? Depends on if you retain it or not. But the best players, and I heard Ed Reed talk about this the other day. I think I talked about this on the pod Friday or Thursday, one of them. The best players in the NFL, always, they go out there, they're taking notes. They are paying attention to. It doesn't matter if this is. Avery was talking about this. He was like, "This is our 5th year in the system," and he put his hand up. His guys in here not taking notes. Most of these guys know the system. Most of these guys have played in this system already, but are you retaining the information? And he talked about a lot of people look at stuff and they think, oh, that's luck, or he just got good instincts. No, I've watched this play. I've repped this play. I've talked this through a million times. I love the fact that on day 2 of this, Ben Johnson is coming in and saying, what did I say yesterday? How do we do this? Are you retaining this information? Giving them a quiz essentially to try and see kind of where this quarterback room is at. He's starting off on day 2 of this. And that's what I love. Like, you are having the season doesn't start. I don't know why I had a stroke right there. That sounds crazy. Don't clip that up. The season doesn't start when the season starts. The season starts in training camp. The season starts in OTAs. The season starts in minicamp. The season starts in the offseason workout program. That's when the season starts. Because if you're doing the little things then, by the time you get to February, if we get to February, January, December, it's second nature to do little things. You're not making the little mistakes because you've seen every mistake that you can make to this point, and you've had success fixing those mistakes. The repetition and all of that starts now. And the fact that Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson are already on that plane and they're already locked in that way, I think that that is great for the Chicago Bears. I think that that is going to speak to some success this season for the Bears and hopefully the ultimate success. But I do want to know how you guys feel, man. Let me know in the comments below. I'll be down there talking with you guys as well. We talked about a bunch of stuff on today's episode. Of course, we'll be back for the Morning Breeze tomorrow. There will be more content dropping here on the channel. And also, I'll be live over on the Chicago Bulls Breeze if you are a diehard Bulls fan for tonight's game versus the Cleveland Cavaliers. So tap in with us on that as well. And again, if you want to pull up to the Windy City Breeze draft party, make sure to pull up with us Thursday, April 24th, 6 p.m. until the bar closes. Ultimate Gaming Experience, 15633 South 94th Ave in Orland Park. Can't wait to see you guys there. Tickets are on sale now. Check the link in the description. As always, man, it's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Bear down, one love. Peace.